Welcome to yet another episode of Buzz Behind Sports. Today we have a special guest on the show in Mr. Ramji Srinivasan. Ramji sir is someone who has worked as a strength and conditioning coach for the Indian cricket team, for IPL teams and even F1 athletes. Today's episode is all about the strength and conditioning element of sports science. There was a wonderful discussion between Ramji sir and Ayushi ma'am about how the strength and conditioning scenario has evolved in India and how this, along with other aspects of sports science, could be the stepping stone for India to achieve laurels in different parts of the sporting world. Without much further ado, let's dive straight right into this episode.
Hello everyone, we are back again at Buzz Behind Sports. We have a special guest with us, Mr. Ramji Srinivasan. We are glad to have you here, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So, sir, you are our first guest who has reappeared on our podcast. How does it feel?
It feels really good to be honest and, honored too. Honest and honored,
Right.
to be precise. And always pleasure to be here in IISM, and there's so much of positivity here. I derive a lot of
Definitely.
positivity from the people and the students and the staff. So it's lovely to be here.
It's
more.
great
Thank
to
you
have
for
you
having
here,
me, by the way.
It's our honor, sir, to have you here.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I think I'll just start shooting questions right at you. So training for athlete or in any sport for that matter, we require some understanding of what the sport is, what kind of athletes we're dealing with. So you are a renowned strength and conditioning coach who had trained our Indian cricket team for a long time. And do you think that strength and conditioning is a supplementary training to the normal training that the athletes go through?
Yeah, shooting off is a very long question. My answer is yes, but I will elaborate on it. To be honest, strength and conditioning is a new terminology come to India in the last few years, and people are reveling over it. But little realizing it's also a part and parcel of, as you rightly said, it's part and parcel of the entire gamut of fitness. So it is one aspect of fitness where it also highlighted nowadays. But other components of fitness need to be highlighted, like balance and stability, core strength and stability, aerobic fitness, speed endurance, etc., SAQ, COD, etc., need to be addressed also. All those things complete an entire gamut of fitness, components of
Correct.
fitness. Strength and conditioning is one aspect of it, but it is not beyond and end all. What about yoga? People do yoga, and some of the elite athletes do yoga and perform
Really
very well,
yeah.
In a highest level. So that also has to be considered as a part of the fitness norms.
Correct.
So that is my take on it. People may differ, but it's my take.
Yeah, I think it's a wholesome element.
It's a holistic approach,
Yes.
need to be understood first. Just strength and conditioning is very glamorous to say,
Right.
but it is also one aspect of it. It
Correct.
is not the whole meal.
Correct.
It is one part of the meal.
There are too many pillars holding an athlete together.
Absolutely. From fitness angle, you have your recovery protocols, you have your nutrition aspect of it, you have a mental conditioning aspect of it, you have a sports medicine, you have exercise physiology, you have other aspect of its recovery process and protocol. There are so many protocols which makes an elite athlete to perform at the highest level. Strength and conditioning is one aspect of it.
Right, rightly said, sir. So, since you've been a part of the Indian cricket team for so long, like around from 2009 to 2013, do you think that scenario has changed right now when we are here in 2024?
Yeah, a decade has passed since my departure in 2013. I came out because of to spend time with my family. Things have changed. Now there are more support staff. There are more coaches and support staff. But to the horror and sorrow, there are more injuries also. I don't know. I am not able to pinpoint why and for what reason things are gone bit awry. To be honest, I don't want to push anything under the carpet or do any window dressing. So to be very honest, we need to address these things. Something somewhere is not right. And with honesty and integrity, you address those issues, the problem can be sorted out. This is not rocket science.
Correct.
You know, we are sending rocket, satellite to Chandrayaan and other
Moon,
things.
yeah.
This is not that level. So we need to have a healthy discussion and approach with open-mindedness and with clear attitude to address these issues. This is an issue. This is a problem.
Yes,
So
definitely.
we cannot push it under the carpet and have everything is hunky dory. No, it is not. So things have changed, and on the positive side, guys have become much more fitter and much more aware of on their fitness levels, and because of a lot of things have changed, because those who are at 10 and 8 and 10 and 12, they are 20 and 20 now.
Correct.
So they started training, looking at their seniors, their icons when they were young, looking at Sachins and Dravids and Lakshmans and Zahir Khan, etc. Looking at them.
We've come a long way.
We have come a long way. These kids took inspiration from them to get into that mode. So it all started way back. The process and protocols in fitness started somewhere in the middle of 2001 to, maybe 2004-5, I would say, it became very serious.
So do you think that with the if I want to speak about the Indian cricket team, do you think the number of support staff that we speak about has increased, and how? Like, what kind of coaches did we see back then versus what do we see now?
So that is a missing link, to be honest. There are so many support staff. You have physios, you have 2 trainers, you have strength and conditioning coach, you have recovery massage therapist, you have etc. You have throwdown specialist, etc. Why there are so many injuries still? And people also have specialist players. You have T20 players, you have one-day players, one-day test match play, which was not very pertinent then.
Right.
In 2000s and up to 2013, 14, 15. So why there are so many injuries in spite of having specialty players for the particular format? That's a missing link.
Yeah,
and a $1 billion question, $1.5 billion question, to be honest,
precise,
with the number of population, number of questions asked. So, as I said earlier, we need a honest approach to it.
Correct.
Open approach to it. Have a discussion with the concerned people, and have a open line of communication is very, very important.
Right.
And addressing the
said.
issue, facing the problem head on, is very important, rather than circumventing it and trying to
push it on others
or blaming others for X, Y, and Z.
Right.
Nobody is going to take a job to get the player injured.
Correct.
Everybody wants, but somewhere something is missing. And some approach or some process and protocols, they need to tweak it a bit or play it down a bit, or too much of strength training and less on other components of fitness.
Right.
So specific to cricket, specific to a particular player, or specific to particular skill set.
I think that's where my next question is going to direct you to.
I stole your thunder.
Yeah. Okay. Since you see so much diversity in the kind of players, like again, if I want to shift to sports, different sports, something like football, we have midfielders, we have goalkeepers, we have defenders, or we speak about cricket. We have fielders again, we have bowlers, we have batsmen. So, you as a SNC coach or a strength and conditioning coach, do you have a different training regime for these kind of players, or how
Absolutely, it's a no-brainer. One size doesn't fit all.
It's a
how can a goalkeeper train like a midfielder or a defender or a striker? No way. How can a fast bowler train like a batter? Or vice versa, or a spinner can train like a fast bowler? No, everybody is different, and every skill set is different. The needs are different. The energy system is different. The needs and energy system are different for different formats.
Correct.
So, see the permutation combination, how it works. So, we need to be mindful of the fact to understand what is essential for the skill set.
Right.
Then percolating down to the player, how each and every individual player is different in spite of having the same skill set.
Correct.
So that has to be understood very well, because one exercise suits a person and becomes successful. It cannot be copied, cut and paste for all the players. Right. Can all the players eat the same food? No. What one player has eaten, or a couple of players are eating, or have the same lifestyle? No, it cannot be. There is a very thin line between what you call motivation and copying.
Perfect, sir. Because we are bio individuals and we're going to be different.
You have to be bespoke. Everything has to be bespoke up to the recovery, up to the nutrition aspect of it.
Correct.
It has to be individualized. It is no brainer. It is a basic duty of the SNC to do it. That's a first basic duty. Then we talk about improvisation. Then we talking about thinking out of the box and getting into a sports scientist level of thought process and implementation.
Correct.
This is a basic. If you don't do this basic, then all the problems crop up.
Right.
So that's what the problems crop up can be one of the reasons, because
We are kind of doing.
everybody does the same type of workout. That
Right.
will not augur well on any scientific modalities or in a forum, scientific forum. No way.
So just to dig a little bit deeper on the same aspect, suppose we're dealing with two fast bowlers. Do we have the same SNC because they have to have the same kind of skill set? They are doing the same kind of thing. So are we looking
No,
at?
that's what I told earlier. I mean, what I
So
can
still we
get
differ.
Of course it is. We are all like thumb impression. No, we have
different fingerprints.
Exactly, because same type of bowling. For example, somebody like I mean, I don't want to pull names. I would say just an example. Somebody is a front on or side on bowler. Two bowlers who are identical, but they are different. They will be different.
Yeah.
They are different.
Identical twins are different.
Yeah, identical.
In many
Yeah, in spite of that. So, in case of fast skill set, having the same skill set, having the same methodology in doing things, the workout schedules, everything has to change
Correct.
because there are so many variables. There are a lot of variables within each framework which need to be addressed and which need to be implemented at the right process and protocols in place. Because we all talk about data collection and workload management, and once you don't know 1 + 1 = 2, what you're talking about, Google to the power Google. You cannot even calculate that.
Correct.
So get the basics right first, then we can talk about other
The
hyphen
intricacies,
sports scientist innovations later. We have to get the basic right.
Right.
We don't look at basics. We feel slightly infra dig to look at basics. Now everybody wants to be an expert.
Yeah, we think we know the basics, right?
No. Strength and conditioning is a new protocol which has been there in Western countries for a long time. They have done so much of research. They are going into the next level of SNC now.
Right, sir.
So they are transferred into a different plane altogether. By the time it comes to India, it may take a bit of a time. We cannot do the time travel now. So
we definitely can't.
so we need to be mindful of the fact where we are within what we have. We need to do the best for our athletes. No, the athletes completely trust you. It is not the fault of an athlete to trust you, but
Yeah.
it is the entire onus is on the SNC to deliver.
Yeah, it's our duty.
Deliverables are the best.
Correct.
Rest of the things, your PR and other things can come in later. But
Correct.
unless or until you deliver for an individual and for the team at the highest level to win, then you are just an ordinary SNC.
Correct.
So you have to be there at the right place at the right time, doing the right thing.
That was great, sir. I think the question now comes to a different kind of level. When we speak about demographics, body type, obviously we have spoken about individuality of an athlete, they're different, etc. But certain genetics of certain people are better than the others. If, for example, to put across, the Pahadi people that we speak about are, generally stronger, and maybe the people who come from western parts of India are more agile. So, does an athlete, does an SNC coach need to take this into consideration, that if certain player is good at
Oh yeah, it's a very interesting question actually. I'm also a believer in that, because you see, they have done it's a research subject basically, not in India. I don't know whether there are any research papers. Their research says that the muscle fibers are thick for the colored people. The basic muscle fiber the thickness of the muscle fiber is really thick for the colored people. Then comes the Caucasians, then comes the Asians. So you see the sprinters in Jamaica. Jamaica always have sprinters. You see Kenyans and the Ethiopians and Somalians. They are more into aerobic oxidative
kind of
sport, athletes.
Yeah.
So as far as India is concerned, I think, if I'm not wrong, way back in 80s or 90s, late 80s or 90s, India, there was a sect called Siddhis.
Okay.
They are an African origin, based out of Gujarat.
Oh.
I think to give due credit to Sports Authority of India at that point of time, they identified this group of people called Siddhis and started to train them, because they are African descendant and they had much better genetic loading in sport on certain aspect of sport. Not much better than Indians, but comparatively. So I don't know what happened. I think it fizzled out at the way it started. Very sad, you know.
Yeah.
Similarly, you see the people from north of India to east to west to south. Genetically, we are loaded differently, and the sport what each one excel also is different. You see the sprinters mostly coming from southern region, jumpers and sprinters. You see throwers and wrestlers coming from northern region. You see a lot of soccer players coming from northeast region.
Right.
And west you have certain combination of swimmers and sprinters also, and middle distance runners. So you need to take the right domain and dissect it well with a you need a team for that. You need a exercise physiology team, sports scientists people, sports medicine team. SNC cannot do anything alone. We are limited on certain aspect of it.
Correct.
Once these professionals give us the information whether they have this ability to be a fast bowler, or to be a spinner, or to be a sprinter, or jumper, or a thrower, or a middle distance, or a long distance runner, things can be worked out really, really well.
Do you think if this is brought in at a level of, say, school children or
Absolutely,
children,
absolutely. It has to be brought in that level. That's what China is doing.
Yes.
They have defied certain Western principles of training methodologies.
Correct.
Similarly, we have yoga here. It has defied a lot of things, and elite athletes are using and peaking at the right time. For example, as recent as Rohan Bopanna.
Right.
Fantastic, phenomenal. And some of them say it is not validated, it is not scientific. I know SNC people say, and it's not scientifically validated. What all scientific validation need not be good, need not be right. So, yoga, when elite athletes are using and performing, from Novak to Roger Federer to, you cannot get bigger, or LeBron James to others doing meditation and doing, you cannot, you find one or two stray athletes without doing yoga perform. It doesn't mean from Indian team perspective.
Correct.
Sachin Tendulkar, Virat Kohli, most of them do it. Rohit Sharma and
I think they have
before World Cup, we had a yoga master. We had yoga sessions.
Correct.
Previous generation, previous generation, players, those who retired in mid 2000s, like Anil Kumble and Saurav. Anil Kumble introduced yoga to the Indian team, which was very, very good.
Right.
All of them improved a lot at that point of time. 2003 was, I would say, one of the best teams we had for the World Cup. So you need to inculcate that habit at the young age, as you rightly said. You need to bring those information to the table and involve the right people to get the process and protocols rolling. I think that is a long term, which is going to be very, very good, very crucial.
Yeah, for getting us
talent identification.
Yes.
So we should not cast them young and kill them soon. So we have that propensity to do it. To be very honest, I don't want to. I don't want to. Please anybody about it. Yeah. We cast them young, blue broom sweeps clean. With fanfare we start everything. Somewhere in the middle we lose steam. Finally we have a logic to finish off the entire process. It didn't work out because of X, Y, and Z. No. You have to try, and perseverance is a key for performance. It doesn't, Rome was not built in a day, Varanasi was not built in a day also.
I think athletes are not built in a day.
No, it is a long term, that's why you have LTAD. Then you have STAD, short term athletic development. No, it doesn't work.
All right. Another question to you, sir. Since SNC, do you think SNC is involved in injury prevention? And if you have any real life examples that you could share with us.
SNC is a part of injury prevention and cure. Of course, they are part of it in tandem with the physio and the sports medicine doctor. The SNC cannot act independently on this.
Yeah.
Because you are limited with your knowledge. You need to get the inference and the go ahead. There is a process involved in that. So, in consultation with the physio, in consultation with the sports medicine doctor or team doctor, if the player is injured or the probability of him or her getting injured is high, so we need to design a program accordingly. Similarly, when it need to be incorporated, what sort of program it has to be adhered to, all these things has to be discussed, debriefed within four walls with the player, with the support staff, whoever is involved with that, and then the process is set in.
Right.
So it's a teamwork, complete teamwork.
Right. So since you mentioned teamwork, sir, just to throw light as to what this team, we speak about sports science coming into the picture. So what does this team actually comprises of? SNC coach is one of them, a physiotherapist is one of them, a nutritionist is one of them. Is there anything else that is added to the team?
Sports science is the entire gamut of people. It's a group of people. You have your sports medicine, you have your sports physiotherapist, you have your strength coach, you have a conditioning coach.
Oh, they're separate?
Yeah, separate.
Oh,
we call they are jack of all trades here. Don't worry. We know everything. One SNC knows everything from physio to sports medicine to yoga to philosophy to quantum mechanics to physics to zoology.
Right.
So yeah, jack of all trades. So you have a sports psychologist, you have a sports nutritionist, you have a data collection expert, you have a recovery specialist, which is not there in our country at all. So we have allied sports training facility. You have your athletic trainers, you have a yoga specialist, then you have a sports psychologist, sports physiologist, exercise physiologist. Then you have a general medicine practitioner, you have a sports surgeon.
Right.
So it's a huge team. You have a biomechanist.
Correct.
So
to know the motion of the game, yeah.
Yeah, you have more and more added on. You have data collection expert now. So it comprises of entire team for one athlete or one team. And apart from that, the coaches heads the entire gamut. He is everything comes under the coaches, and coach comes under the management.
Right.
So we are, as a SNC, we are just cog in the wheel, to be honest. So there are many experts. Even SNC, strength and conditioning, is bifurcated now into agility specialist.
Oh.
Yeah, it has gone down to that level. You have functional training specialist. You have a core strength and training specialist.
Right.
You have a prehab specialist. You have a rehab specialist.
Oh, that's interesting.
Oh, yeah. It has gone into that level of detailing now. So you cannot, strength and conditioning is one even the strength aspect of it. You have a variety of schools.
Right.
Variety of schools practicing different methodology of strength training. So you have to mix and match. It's a huge permutation combination.
That's amazing to know, sir, because I was really, this is something new to me also, we are segregating even strength and conditioning into different aspects.
Yes, that is one thing. And it's, in the future, it is mandatory for any strength and conditioning, the whole group, to understand, collate data, infer data, execute the data. Without that, they would be left clueless, because things are changing in such dramatic fashion, with AI coming in, with data collection coming in, with wearables coming in, and with visual reality coming into play.
Correct.
Because I remember writing an article in Sports Star regarding the future of fitness and future of how it is the human performance. In Australian Institute of Sports, I think they designed a human AI figure from muscle to bone according to his or her needs by scanning the athlete.
Oh, wow.
And they can predict the performance and the injuries, what can happen. It's all live. because we can do a lot of things off field. A lot of testing and other things, inference is done off field. It is done on field, especially when they are playing the matches. What are the probable and the load on the muscle and the load on the joints, how live you can see.
I think this will be a game changer.
It is going to be a complete game changer. I hope the future generation of SNC is aware of these changes coming and adapt and learn quickly. I'm sure the youngsters are much smarter than what we are actually, and to be honest. And these kids are really smart. I'm very happy to know that in India, the youngsters are taking up sports science in last 5-6 years is really encouraging.
I think so too, sir.
Yeah, I'm 100% sure.
Okay, my next question to you, sir, is since you've been seeing a lot of injuries, even in the latest World Cup that we had, so can this be attributed, what can this be attributed to, and what could be the solution?
You're putting me in a fix now. No. Nevertheless, I'd be very honest about it. As I told you earlier, there are more support staff now than before. Why still so many injuries in spite of having specialist players for different formats? Except for 2-3 players, rest of them are specialists. Why is repetitive injuries over the period of time?
Right.
There is something need to be addressed, whether the process and protocols are right. Process and protocols involve a lot of things. It is not just on paper. It involves loads and loads of not only workload management. Workload management has become a buzzword now. Everybody is talking about workload management, X, Y, and Z. It need to be taken, certain things need to be taken with a pinch of salt. What you infer from workload management, according to every individual, is very important. So that level of intelligence, SNC has to be involved in. He has to think. It is not the data. Numbers, crunching numbers are numbers, it's just number. What do you infer from the number is very, very critical.
Interpretation of the numbers.
Interpretation. You cannot, I don't know how to say this. Interpretation is very, very, subjective.
Yeah, but it could be different for you.
Yeah, exactly. And at the same time, it has to be very objective in proving the efficiency and performance. If it is going to be subjective, it can be subjective only for that player and they can move out. The SNC can move out of the entire system.
Right.
Because he or she are going to spoil the athlete's future, player's future. So player trust them and tell them everything. So being subjective can be subjective at their own home, not for the professional teams. So I don't know. It's really puzzling, in fact, why, in spite of having so much of facilities now,
we're not using them well.
You need to harness things well. You need to be smart in your training than hard in your training. There is also so much of pressure from the social media. Everybody wants to put on their training session in the gym.
Videos and
I think maybe to get traction, to get monetary benefits, etc. It's their business deal and it's okay. But as far as the SNC is concerned, it is not, you have to be behind the line, away from all these sort of things and do your job well.
Yeah, supporting the athlete from behind.
Yes, support the athlete from behind at any stage. Right. And don't pinpoint the fingers at somebody else because of your mistake. Accept the mistake. It's easier to learn and to grow rather than pinpointing, trying to be logical about it, and people can see through. Nobody is a fool here. And maybe some people like to act blind, but generally people can see through. And when they come out of the system, they'll get hammered.
Right.
That's happened. That will happen.
All right, sir. I think I'll push the next question to you. With India slowly growing towards getting more medals, like at the Tokyo Olympics or the latest Asian Games, do you think India is, slowly progressing in the field of strength and conditioning, or say in the world of sports science?
Absolutely. I'm really delighted about it because it all started actually with the Fit India movement. That is a catalyst which started to steamroll into the next level. People and corporates have started to invest on high performance centers. Sports science centers have come in. Gujarat has built, Orissa has built. Now each and every state is taking up a specific sports person. And Karnataka, you can see a couple of massive centers in and outside Bangalore or Chennai. It's very encouraging. It's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. We can only go up because cup was empty.
Correct.
Except for Sports Authority of India, it's very easy to fill when the cup is empty. Half fill is dangerous. We always say, see half cup full. In this aspect, half cup full is always dangerous because you come with a preconceived notion.
We don't know what is there in the cup.
Yeah, we don't know what is there.
Right.
It comes with a preconceived notion. We have been there, we know it all. Attitude, which can spoil the new breed of thinking process or the process and protocols being used for success.
Correct.
So this can pull that down. So a cup is empty is good. Now, a lot of educated youngsters are taking up sports science, and a lot of youngsters educated in US doing their sports science undergrad and postgrad, and something like IISM has come into the picture now last couple of years, which is a good sign. And there are also a couple of other colleges, those who have been involved in sports science in India for a long time. The traction what they get is they are going to get is huge, absolutely huge. It's going to go in geometric progression than arithmetic progression in India. So the future seems bright, and government is doing everything to
push sports ahead.
Push sports. See, a country's image is determined by two things. One is military might, and other country notice. Second is sport. We had military might. We are now there in top 5.
Correct.
Now, sports might will take some time. Why China is looked upon by everything. Olympics, America is scared, or Europe was scared, Australia is scared, in spite of so much advancement in sports, sports science and technology. They are taken aback by Chinese invasion, literally. Similarly, our time will come. We need to give some gestation period. We cannot buy a hypercar and try to race and win Formula 1 races. No, it takes time. We are in the right path. Government is helping in phenomenal way, and private entities are coming, and Reliance is coming in big way. It's phenomenal, and they are bringing some experts who are already there in that domain. As I told you earlier, they are into a different level. They are at least 25-30 years ahead of us. Bringing those people in, sharing their experience, sharing their knowledge. It's a new learning curve. I think it's only way up. I see. It's very encouraging for the youngsters. I hope I am in my 20s now, so that I can learn and be a better SNC.
No, I think so. You've done a wonderful job.
Miles to go before I sleep.
Right, sir. So buzz of Olympics to be proposed in India in the year of 2036. How do you think, or what opportunities does it bring for strength and conditioning coaches, or the other domains that you spoke about of sports science? It's
not only strength and conditioning aspect of it, is one aspect of it, but the entire domain will change from sports management to sports science. Everything will change. You get a huge amount of traction, and you need people.
Right.
You need software. No point just having a hardware and without any software. And there are certain places where they have built some massive stuff, but not enough people to operate. Not enough manpower to operate. You cannot have a hypercar without driver or a high octane fuel.
Right.
You need to have everything ready to push. So similarly, we are getting the hypercar, we are getting the high octane fuel, we are getting the drivers. So it's a matter of time. And 2036 Olympics will be in a different level. We'll be shifting gears at every stage, flooring the accelerator. I see a phenomenal future for the entire ecosystem of sports and sports related fields, allied fields, sports goods division, sports wearables,
Right.
sports technology, sports management, sports science, sports.
I think we're only going up.
We are
when
going
we're
up.
coming-
100% we are going up. No two ways about it.
What, according to you, since we saw a lot of good bowling in the Indian cricket team this World Cup, what was the game change for Indian fast bowlers that you see?
The game changer, to be very honest and to be very straightforward, is MRF Pace Foundation. MRF Pace Foundation was created way back, nearly 3 decades back, and it has been one of the tools to produce fast bowlers in the country, where other fast bowlers from other countries have come and trained. And MRF has given more than 20 fast bowlers to the Indian
To the
team.
Indian team.
Especially you had last 2011 World Cup, we had 3 from MRF Pace Foundation. You had Zahir Khan spearheading the entire fast bowling attack. You had Munaf Patel and Srisant. So
Right.
we have been, MRF Pace Foundation is a trendsetter. It's a game changer as far as not only cricket, for any sport. You can take a leaf out of MRF Pace Foundation in applying how to set up a sports high performance center. It's brilliant, absolutely brilliant, and the perseverance is a key for them. And now, as a part of MRF Pace Foundation, we are going for a really complete revamp to get a high performance center going, and it's going to be one of the cutting edge centers in the world for sure. And full credit goes to Pace Foundation, set the ball rolling. Now people can claim credit, and I think which is due to them.
Right.
But it all started out with MRF Pace Foundation. No two ways about it.
Right. So is there any other sport that MRF Pace Foundation takes under other than fast bowlers or training fast
I think
bowlers?
they would be open to taking Olympic athletes.
Okay.
It's up to the management. There are recommendations given to the MRF management to take up some of the Olympic athletes to be trained at MRF Pace Foundation, because that is a different ball game altogether. You know, everything is there, very professionally managed.
Correct.
Systems, process, and protocols in place. I think we have placed it in front of the management. Let's see. I mean, I hope they agree. I'm sure they would
So do you think-
look into it on a larger scale for India. Not only Olympic sport, but motorsport and other thing. They already do motorsport,
Correct.
MRF, in a big way. So Olympic sport, yes, we have requested the management. We are waiting for their approval.
Since we know that India lags behind a bit in sports, and like you mentioned, other countries are way ahead, light years ahead of us. What specific areas do you think India should work on to be, at par, say in 5 years down the line or 10 years down the line?
Research and development.
Right.
We don't have any research done for, we have, but research for research sake to get a PhD is different.
Yeah.
For research to be done, to be percolated and transferred onto the player's performance. We are
Correct.
more academic oriented to get a PhD in their respective field. I did the research, I had 2 PhD, 3 PhDs. Has it been translated onto the performance, peak performance? I doubt so. So
Right.
research and analysis and data collection is going to be the key for Indian athletes to go to the next level. We can take the help of the developed nations to set up a system here, and then we develop our own process and protocols in place. We need to have our own system in place. So that's when we grow. That is very critical. Unless or until there is data in research and data collection done for our athletes,
I think
we'll hit the wall at some point.
Indianizing the way.
100%. How can it's again a no-brainer. We have to
Correct.
Indianize it. So we cannot like how they managed Chinese food, Indian Chinese food. How we
Indo-Chinese.
innovated. We are good in innovation.
Yeah.
But if it is done in the right way, in the right guidance, we can go somewhere else. That's what others are scared of. Not only in others' fault, in sports, our athletes are no less to anybody. In their dedication, in their commitment, in their willingness to work hard and learn, but most of them are not from, I'm not generalizing it. The lacunae what we have is the economic situations, proper, improper nutrition, improper athletic, equipments to train, lack of professionals for them to be trained, lack of follow-up. Lot of things are there for our athletes, for them to hit a plateau or to drop out.
Right.
Those things have to change.
A lot of challenges for them.
A lot of challenges for them. They all take a sport with passion. Yes. Somewhere it's been decimated. I think it is changing now. It is changing. Better than what it was 20 years back, 30 years back, and 100%. 100%. Last, you see Khelo India, number of athletes taking part, and everybody is proud.
Definitely.
So, research, data collection, and analysis is going to hold a key in future development also in sports science. That's where sports scientists are very important.
Right.
They play a very key role from the background, giving data and which can be implemented and percolated down to the training process.
Right, which will probably get us more medals, more laureates.
100%. We can win solid amount of gold medals and create world records with the process and protocols are followed, and with the right people at the right place, not the wrong people at the right place and right people at the wrong place.
Right.
We need to identify that first. People willing to work hard, work smart, and commitment with dedication. That is the key. That I think we have enough people there. Enough people.
I think we're getting there, and
we are getting
there sooner. I think.
Yes, 100%, with a lot of new breed of youngsters coming in. Like a wave, like Exodus. It's going to be a game changer.
Rightly said, sir. My final and last question to you: how do you place strength and conditioning, and also the other verticals that you just mentioned of sports science, like the nutrition, psychology? And since sporting world is increasing, since the number of initiatives by the governments are increasing, why is it important for youngsters to take up this as a profession or as a career prospect? So where do you see a ray of hope?
There is a huge, I won't say there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Yes. You can see a massive light there. It's a different field. It also depends on the character of an individual, what specific sport they want to take, whether even in the sports, entire sports field, system, whether it's sports management or sports science or sports medicine or the allied activities or sports technology. So it depends on your character, it depends on your passion, it depends on the personality what you are. So there are a lot of jobs depending on your personality also, what you want to take, whether you want to be outdoor, whether you want to be indoor, whether you want to be in the forefront, whether you want to be in the background, whether you want to crunch data, whether you wanted to train people. So there are a lot of things depending on your passion and personality. And it is growing. The field is growing in India. As I told you, the cup is empty. You
have to fill it.
Yeah, it is getting filled. And more opportunities. Massive opportunities, more good pay, good way to interact with experts all over the world. So, scope for upgradation is huge because there is so much of research can be done.
Because you're building it from the scratch.
Yes.
Trying to put it across.
In comparison with the Western highly developed nations, where you see the most of the Olympic gold medal winners are all in the developed countries.
Right.
We are no more developing countries. We are a developing country. We are there in top. We should be there in top five soon. So, having said that, we have one of the best doctors in the world. We have one of the best scientists, space scientists in the world. We have one of the best management people, business people in the world. We have one of the best software engineers in the world. Why can't we have one of the best sports people in the world? Just a matter of time with proper process and protocols. We can be in a top five in the world, in top 5 departments in the world. And we rule the world then. Simple. So, yeah, it's a new wave. It's a new wave which is coming. Very exciting to see that this is happening, and we cannot go wrong here. I am very positive about it and very gung-ho about it. Simple as that.
I think that positive wave will, when it hits the youngsters, I think they're going to take it ahead.
They are all very smart nowadays, and you cannot fool them. Touch of a button, you get information.
Google it.
Google it, or you cannot say, when I was young in 1940, I used to cycle 100 kilometers, do one exercise and come back next 100 kilometers. All those cock and bull story, they don't believe now. That may be sounding good for movies.
Correct.
Like that Karl Chakra, when a kid will be cycling, he'll become an old man suddenly and fight 100 guys. No. Those things are big no. You cannot fool the youngsters now. And they are really switched on with the information. Don't give gyan. Simple as, if you don't know, accept you don't know. You are willing to learn.
Correct.
They appreciate that. They respect that. If you try to conceal with your jargon, your ignorance, then you are in for a big trouble. Not only the youngsters, even the professionals hammer you. So be aware of what is happening around the world. Youngsters are very smart. Very smart. I'm happy for that. India is in safe hands.
Right, sir. That brings us to the end of the episode. I really want to thank sir from the bottom of my heart. We are honored to have you here, sir. Thank you for coming back on Buzz Behind Sports.
Thank you so much for patient listening.
I had a wonderful time, sir. It was such so many wonderful insights.
Thank you so much. I can see a halo around my head. Thank you so much. Thanks. Thank you, IISM, for having me here. Always a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.